So the Saanich looked for four things in a plant: food, tool, medicine, or indicator. And by indicator, I mean that things like I think about the ocean spray, which is in bloom right now. And when it's in bloom like that, it's the time to go out and catch the sockeye salmon. And when all the men from the village went out to the reef net sites to catch salmon for the village for the year, all the children and all the women and all the old people went and lived in the forest and picked berries for the village for the year, and that was their job. And I asked my dad how long they would pick, and he said from first light to last light, because you couldn't see. When you couldn't see anymore, then you stopped picking. But they made bricks or cakes of the berries and dried them in the hot sun, and that was their job, was to prepare the berries for eating in the winter time. That was part of our diet. We ate salmon every day, and my dad said that when his aunt or his mom went to make supper, he would watch to see what they were going to reach for to make for supper, and he said it was salmon. So we had to invent all kinds of different ways to eat salmon, in soup or on a stick cooked next to the fire, or pit cook, dried in the sun, smoked, all different ways just to give it some variety, because they ate so much salmon. And they ate the camas. The camas bulb was harvested, and this was an ongoing process where when they went out, like I think some of the camas seeds are ready now for harvesting, and they would harvest them and start them. And when they first come up, they look like a blade of grass. And from that point, blade of grass to flowering is 7 years. So it's a long time and as I say, it was an ongoing process, and they had fields of camas, to the point where when the Junitum first came here, and that's our word for the white man, is Junitum, and that means the man that appeared from nowhere or all of a sudden. The surveyors came, and it must have been springtime when they came, because they like to climb up into the highest points of them where they're going to survey, so they could look where they were going to survey. And they did that, and they said they made note that there was a couple of lakes down at the bottom, but when they got down there, it wasn't. It was a field of camas in bloom. Mm-hmm. So what they did was they found that if they disturbed the root bulb, that it encouraged bulb growth, and so they would get big bulbs the size of their fist. And I asked my dad one time if he'd ever seen a pit cook with camas in it, and he said yes. And I said, and how much camas did they put in there? And he said, sacks and sacks. And when it's cooked that way, slow cooked in the ground like that, it converts the starches into good sugars. So this was a real good part of our diet, was the berries, the camas, and the salmon. And because of that good diet, our people regularly lived beyond 100 years old, and some of them were 130 years old.